Good evening, race fans, and welcome here to Texas Motor Speedway for tonight's racing action here in the Rebilas Photography Grand National Series. We are just dealing with some technical difficulties with the field. We're going to quickly go to a quick commercial break. All right, ladies and gentlemen, sorry for the late start here. Just dealing with some issues of a couple drivers having some dropout issues due to some storms. We just hope everyone does stay safe. We do apologize for the quick commercial break. We'll keep you updated throughout the race as drivers do rejoin the field, but let's get going. Green here, Chris. The control car will be Ethan Burrell with Justin Fuller on his outside as the green flag is in the air.
Yeah, green is out. We are going away here. Chad Frankenfield won the pole. He is not here. And another interesting thing about this place is there is no restart zone here that's really highlighted blue like we have at a lot of tracks. There's a couple cones on the fence, so you just got to know where to look there as a driver.
That's exactly right, as you currently do see out on the field. It's Ethan Burrell out front, Jonathan Cutlip there in second. Josh Cossack has worked his way up into position number 3.
Oh, Tate Lytle gets a piece of the wall.
Tate Lytle just behind them. He did get the outside wall, like you mentioned. He is continuing on just behind them. You see the 77 of Trey Eidson and the 9 of Jay Kaner. We do apologize again if there are any sort of technical difficulties here tonight. Many drivers experiencing some major storms, a couple tornadoes and whatnot.
Oh, we got a big stack up here in the middle of the field. Johnny Thomas gets knocked up the track a little bit.
Let's see if we can go back to the Johnny Thomas machine.
I think he got on the apron a little bit down to 3 and 4. Got hit from behind as well.
Yeah, we're just having a little bit of an issue here with our ticker. Again, a couple of things just not working as they should here tonight. Now, Chris, let's jump into it here. As you see on the screen, the 67 car here tonight, that is not me in the Roasted Gems coffee machine. That is Zach Rogers making his season debut here for Mountain Man Motorsports. Of course, Zach drove the number 12 for 21 Savage Autosport last season in the Cup Series and taking a step back to focus on some career and studies this season. Now, Chris, 4 laps in, 96 to go. Why don't we go ahead and make some race picks?
Yeah, I think it's hard to say because a lot of people practice. We had some issues and some last-minute changes with the setup. I know some people were pretty happy with the way it was and are pretty frustrated about the change. I think I'm going to take Ethan Burrell to win this thing tonight. I was going to take Josh Adams. That 56 Canes machine looks great out here. He's really good at places like this. But he spent a lot of time practicing the wrong setup. So I think based on practice, based on what we're seeing right now in the race, I'm gonna take Ethan Burrell.
Ethan Burrell, the pick here for Chris Wright. Just an update, folks, for you at home. Ethan Stanley has just joined the server here. He is unfortunately 6 laps down due to the connection issues. Also being a victim of connection issues tonight is Chad Frankenfield and 2 drivers that did not make the race, Harrison Talon and Robert Smith. So that's unfortunate for those drivers. They tried to qualify here tonight, 45 entries. Unfortunately, as the decision was made for them not to race tonight, we had a couple drivers fall out. So kind of sucks, but unfortunately, sometimes that is the way it goes. as we do see Josh Kosick there on the inside of Justin Fuller. My pick tonight is that 55 of Justin Fuller. Fuller's been on a bit of a tear over in the Rebilas, or in the, this is the Rebilas Photography Grand National Series. Over in the Pit Pass Network ARCA Series, it has basically been all Justin Fuller the last couple of weeks, and again, tomorrow night we're going to go to Bristol. That might change things up a little bit, so keep your eyes peeled for that 55 of Justin Fuller.
Yeah, and one thing here tonight to talk a little bit about this race, they have 4 sets of tires in the pits, plus the set they have on the car. You can run about 55 laps or so on a tank of fuel. I was told this place is probably going to be a single groove track all night, right around the bottom. Not going to be able to make speed up high, and it takes off pretty tight, but the longer they run, the looser it gets, especially on corner exit, but it does stay pretty wound up in the middle.
Just over on the YouTube chat, Chad Frankenfield just jumped in there saying how much of a bummer it is. He qualified on pole and, well, didn't get to race with it tonight. And I do just want to take a second here to point out a new paint scheme in the field. That is the 11. This is a terrible camera angle. The 11 of Matthew Weeks, brand new JV Designs machine that is Justin Vandermeer sponsored. If you're looking for a paint scheme, reach out to Justin Vandermeer of JV Designs. He'll hook you up. And look at that, number 11. You're looking beautiful out there on the racetrack. Now, Chris,
yeah, and if Chad's watching on
here,
YouTube, doors open. We can get Chad up here, do a little broadcast with us.
Chris, he doesn't have power.
Oh, we got a big wreck. Oh, it's your car. The 70, the 34, the 12.
No.
Oh, Gerald Campbell. 29's down there. The 07, Zach Rogers, like we talked about there.
Jess Story also involved. Vincent Isabella involved. These guys are not happy right there. Let's take a look and see what just happened so we can make a bit of a ruling on this. My fellow race controller, Chris Wright. As we look for the Vincent Isabella machine.
Yeah, with the 82.
Let's take a look here from high above. Taking a look, the 82 of Isabella. Yeah, he just gives an unwarranted bump to the Jess Story machine and sends Jess into the outside wall. Yeah, I think that's going to be on the 82, Chris.
Yeah, I agree. And then the 67 gets in. The 70 is going to get involved. The 80. The 12. Man, I don't know who that is right there.
The 30 of Connor Thompson involved. The 67 of Zach Rogers also involved. Let's go ahead and make the ruling over there on the race chat. Chris, why don't you walk us through the field thus far?
Well, thus far it's been all Ethan Burrell since the flag dropped. But right now, looking at this wreck, I'm trying to figure out, somebody here did a great job missing this wreck. I believe that is going to be Andrew Hardcastle. Andrew Hardcastle did a great job down here. Robert, if you can bring that up and show the onboard of Hardcastle. Absolute magnificent there for him to miss that wreck. But thus far in this race, it's been all Gerald Camp, or all Ethan Burrell, Cutlet, Fuller, Fody.
I mean, Gerald might like it if you said it's all Gerald thus far. That's always nice for him.
Well, yeah, Gerald was in that. Gerald came in there really late.
Let's see if we can pull that up. That is way back. I have a list here, Chris, of what goes on the racetrack. And we gotta go a little bit back to find that incident. I think it's gonna happen right here. You wanted on board with Andrew Hardcastle, is that correct?
Yeah.
Richard Hines also involved in that incident, just an FYI.
Cash James also did a good job getting
All right, we're riding on board here with Andrew Hardcastle. You can see the wreck developing ahead of him. Stays on the gas pedal. Wow. It just cleared up right in front of him, I believe. That was a Leighton Norgard and Zachary Rogers that got together, slid up the racetrack just ahead. Now we have somebody's face stuck on the screen. Yeah, that looks like Ethan Burrell. All right, Ethan, you're just going to stay here on our screen, buddy. There we go. it was just a picture of Ethan. Looked like he was eating dinner or something on the screen. That was a little weird, Chris.
And while we were doing that right there, it looks like everybody came down pit road. Took 4 tires. Took that first set of tires right here. Don't have enough tires to be doing this every 10 laps, so it'll be interesting to see what happens if they run another 10, 12 laps and get a caution.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be interesting here. Like you mentioned, still very early into the event. We're only 13 laps in, only 3 sets of tires laying in the pits. So the 1 set on the car and 3 on pit road. So that's definitely going to make it interesting here for these drivers.
They had 4 in the pits. They actually had 5. They started with 7 in the car and 4 in the pit, so they still got 3 sets left.
As we actually pull it up on the screen here, yeah, you're correct, Chris. Chad, if you're listening, you got to update your math, buddy, because that doesn't count.
So basically, they had a freebie set of tires everybody decided to take. This is where I might have, if I was in the field, stayed out right here and saved the set and banked on some yellows later.
That's right.
So I'm kind of surprised nobody... Chad's not out here to do the opposite strategy. If Chad was here, we'd have had some cars stay out.
Oh, if Chad was here, we'd have something for sure. I just want to take a look here and see the likes of Jess Story. He's done for the night. Connor Thompson also done for the night. Jesse Racima's on pit road. Josh Smith done for the night. Ethan Stanley's okay. Zach Rogers is back on the racetrack. He looks okay. A bit of front end damage there. Looking for the 29 of Jess Story.
Jess left. He is out. They loaded that car up and headed home, Robert. You got us some money to throw at it this week.
Well, there we go. We're going to have to fix that thing up. I don't know where we go next week, but we are back under green here, Chris, at Legacy, Texas. Again, this is a different version of Texas than what we usually run. As we see some side-by-side. Except for Trey Idson. Idson up on the outside of Kean Raleigh. They're going side-by-side for position number 6. It's Idson up on the high side. Raleigh down low. Currently holding that spot is Trey Idson. As Kean Raleigh trying to pull that draft from Tyler Pop. And now Trey Idson has a bit of help on the high side. That is Tyler Fody, currently running in position number 4. Fody moves up, as does John Cutlip. Cutlip looking to the outside of the Justin Fuller machine, but I think it's going to work in the wrong manner here, and John Cutlip going to lose a spot potentially to Tyler Fody, but no, he's able to get back in line and is A-okay. As I see a couple drivers falling through the field, that looks like Dustin Dewar had a moment there. He's able to rejoin the field on the inside of Joe Francis, just ahead of him. It is Zachary Rogers chasing down Joshua Cossack.
We got a lead
Trey
change.
Holmes, yes we do. Justin Fuller on the inside lane does get by the Ethan Burrell machine. John Cutlip there in position number 3. Just behind them, Tyler Fody running in 4th with Tyler Pop, Kean Raleigh, Trey Idson, and Jay Kaner there in 7th and 8th. Latham Joyner, Matthew Weeks rounding out the top 10 as they run, as it looks like Kean Raleigh finally going to clear that Trey Idson machine.
Yeah,
as
everybody
I
gets
say
to
that, here comes Trey.
And kind of got into a spot where they wanted to ride, and Fuller decided he wanted to drive off and leave everybody. So we'll see if he can make these tires last right here. But based on what I know about Ethan and what I know about the other guys here in the top 5, like Tyler Fody and whatnot, they might be letting him go ahead and run the tires off, knowing that they got to run at least 30, 35 laps before they put another set on. And here it goes, Fody looking for 3rd. Looks like he is going to get 3rd. We'll see if the 13.
Tyler
Pop can follow
Fody
through.
down low. Looks like Pop going to try to follow him. I don't think he can necessarily get there right away. But
there.
here he comes to the inside of John Cutlip. I keep wanting to call Cutlip Josh Clark, because Clark used to run that 28, but it is John Cutlip that is just falling back. Now he's under pressure from Kean Raleigh. Raleigh likely to pull Trey Idson through. This is not going in the way that John Cutlip would like to see out here on the racetrack, because just behind Kean Raleigh, of course, is Trey Idson, like I mentioned. Jay Kaner right on the tail end of Trey Idson as well.
It looks like he got in the wrong lane at Daytona or Talladega.
Yeah, sometimes that happens if you get in the wrong lane. You just kind of run out of time to get
He needs to
forward.
lift and get down here, or he's going to give up another spot.
No, and here comes Jay Kaner. Kaner going to fill that hole. He has filled John Cutlip's hole. Jaden Racimus looks like he might have had a connection issue there as he is falling.
I wonder if that's the first time this week that John's had his hole filled. He's finally going to get down.
Taking a look at the 07 of Jaden Racimus, he had a bit of a blinking issue. Looks like he has solidified, Chris. I don't know if you could take a look at his ping and and his quality and just see where that's at, but he looks okay now.
Yeah, it's Jesse just queued up here in the lobby and talked about they just had
Bit of a storm come through.
a little bit of a power surge, but everything stayed connected.
Yeah. That was a bit rough, but looking up ahead of John Cutlip, again, now it's Kean Raleigh on the high side, Trey Idson down low. They're chasing Tyler Pop. Pop just ahead of them. He's trying to chase down Tyler Fody. He's on the rear end of Tyler Fody, so a bit of a battle there between the Tylers. Justin Fuller has pulled away a little bit, half a second over Ethan Burrell, about 7/10 over Tyler Fody, just behind. And Fody, like I mentioned, has a line of cars behind him in Tyler Pop, Trey Idson, Kean Raleigh, and Jay Kaner. There's a bit of a gap back to John Cutlip, who now has pressure from Matthew Weeks and Joshua Adams up there in the top 10. I do want to give a quick early shout out here to our biggest mover thus far, Seth Rawls, currently up 16 positions. Actually, he's running 16th, currently up 27 positions, so even better than 16. That is one heck of a gain thus far by Seth Rawls.
Yeah, and I think Jacob Adams, he started 33rd. He's up to 14th as well.
Yeah, Jacob up 19 positions in his number 52 machine. Again, fairly new paint scheme on that car. Mountain Dew on the side. Hard Mountain Dew, actually. So it might be hard, but Jacob's making it look easy here tonight. It's just ahead of him. There goes his brother, Josh Adams, looking to the bottom. He's going to take the Latham Joyner car with him. Joyner just behind. Nice look on that Latham Joyner machine as well. A little bit of black and pink on the 03. It's got a very tiny 0 on that car. I don't think that meets specifications, Chris.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but I'm looking at people going the other way as well. Chad Frankenfield starting a pole, and he is running dead last out here tonight.
I mean,
we've got...
I don't think we can count that one, buddy.
Oh, I'm counting it. Chad's the biggest loser tonight.
I'm going to say...
we've got Joe Francis is backed up.
Joe Francis down 19 spots. Josh Kozik down 18. Tate's only down 14, which is still a lot for Tate, but just dealing with some issues here on the racetrack and trying to work his way forward. This portion of the top 5 to top 10 is really darn close. That is from 3rd all the way back to, well, we're going to go all the way back to Jacob Adams in 14th. That is all one little group together here. And they're not too far either behind Ethan Burrell, who's currently running in position number 2, as we're already past the quarter-way mark here in tonight's race. 28 down, 73 to go at Legacy, Texas.
Yeah, one thing that's interesting here is if it does stay green, when do they pit? They can run until about 30 laps to go. But I imagine at about 50 to go, we'll see some guys start pitting.
Tate Lytle having a little chat there with Johnny Thomas over the radio. Those two, of course, no strangers to each other over on the Erska.
Man, our leader just ran up on a lap car off of 4, and I thought he was going to hit him.
Yeah, that's the 54 of Hunter Smith. Smith running a modified here tonight. You can see the nose of that machine. Well, actually, no, you can't, because it does not exist. The 54 Warriors for Peace on that thing. Of course, Warriors for Peace is the presenting partner of our Open Wheel Series on Thursday nights. It's unfortunate for Hunter Smith. Early troubles here has him relegated to the rear of the field. Let's look in on Andrew Hardcastle. He's in a bit of a battle with Trey Holmes. He goes off track, able to skate his way back up onto the racing surface. He's going to join behind Michael Goodman and Joshua Kozik. So nearly another incident there for Hardcastle as Kozik gets loose. He's able to save it. That also right ahead of Andrew Hardcastle.
Yeah, just looking here, Matthew Weeks and Josh Adams are kind of creeping forward here. I think they've been saving tires. We'll see who's been saving what exactly here over the next 10 or 12 laps.
Chris, I do want to say actually, no, I'm not going to say it because I don't want to jinx this whatsoever. I was just
go
going
ahead and say it.
I'm impressed so far at the amount of laps we've ticked off. You know, we had the one caution thus far, of course.
It was a big one.
Probably going to get more. But the fact that we've been able to continue on thus far and tick off the amount of laps we have in the period of time that we have, I'm pretty impressed.
Yeah, don't get too impressed because, as you know,
I'm not too impressed. And like I said, we're going to get more.
Real quick.
We're going to get more. We've done 32 laps in about 20 minutes. These last 70 are going to take like an hour.
I mean, one positive that might save about 4 or 5 yellows tonight is Chad's not out there.
Yeah, no one's going to go Chad wide at all. I do have a question, though. What happened to Gerald?
He was in that first wreck, remember?
His car looks fine. Dustin Doerr off the racetrack. Where's Dusty? It just popped out to me that he had an off-track moment. He is okay. But yeah, Gerald's car looks fine. So
he was in the first wreck pretty heavy, so. And I just want to say this before somebody gets mad saying we're picking favorites or, you know, we're going too hard. We kid because we care. We're just messing around with Chad. We know Chad's watching, or was watching.
He was. Yeah, watching. No, he's turned his phone off. He wants to say battery Seth Rawls. Seth is through the grass right now. He is mowing that lawn here at Legacy, Texas. G-Bus Seth. Wow. Seth is sideways, and he catches it. I'm going to just quickly queue up over there.
Matthew Weeks looking away around Cutlip here.
That was wild. I don't know if you saw that, Chris, but Seth was literally mowing the lawn, and then he was completely sideways on the apron. Let's get back up towards the front. It is Justin Fuller ahead of Ethan Burrell. Burrell has cut that lead in half over the last handful of laps. Now 0.4 of a second. Just behind him is Tyler Fody. A bit of a gap. About 0.6 of a second back to Tyler Pop, who is Trey Eidson right behind him. Kean Raleigh, Matthew Weeks, John Cutlip, and as well Joshua Adams, Scott Crump, the top 10.
Here comes Weeks, moving around another car.
Yeah, Weeks looking to the inside of Kean Raleigh. They're going to get really tight here.
And you said Gerald's car looks fine, but it is hurting for speed a good bit.
Yeah, he's definitely hurting for speed. I think they got the... Oh, he just blew up.
He just blew up right there. What a job by everybody missing him.
Chris, this may turn out to be our caution.
I think he's going to be all right.
He needs a hole. He needs a hole to get down.
He can just drive through the grass. He's done. He can just coast and then pull down to the grass, and he'll be all right. Great job by Gerald. Heads up awareness. That's awareness 100 there by Gerald Campbell to not turn down the track just out of panic and wreck and cause a caution or anything like that. Great awareness by the cars behind him. I think Scott Crump was one of the first cars right behind him. I think he just
alt-F forward, Chris, did he?
Yes.
Hey, kudos to Gerald. Kudos to Gerald.
A great job by Gerald. Great job by Scott Crump and those other cars right behind him, too. Like, that's one where everybody worked in unison, and that's good stuff.
Now, Chris, we could have thrown a yellow. We absolutely could have, just due to the big pace difference. But the fact that Gerald was far enough out of the way, and it was in a good spot where there was a lot of room to get by him, we were able to keep the race green and allow the drivers to continue on, which I think the drivers, some of them would have liked a caution. But
well, I don't
others
think we could have thrown a yellow,
not.
Right? Wasn't that a rule put away after Daytona? No more admin yellows.
I think that was on super speedways and road courses, Chris. So I don't think that came into play here on the smaller ovals, but I'm just glad we're able to stay green. I hate it for Gerald. Absolutely hate it for Gerald. I know he's the kind of guy that sometimes he'll just run into great luck and have himself a good run. Other times, luck is just absolutely not on his side whatsoever. And tonight, unfortunately, one of those nights. As you see, Jaden Racimus just gets by Vincent Isabella. John Cutlip, I think Cutlip just had a moment there with the outside wall. He's going to get passed by Josh Adams and Scott Crump. Both now falls to position number 10. See if we can take a look. The right side looks okay. So maybe just getting too tight.
And I do got to give a shout out to Tate Lytle here. I talked about him when he fell back there at about 20th. Well, now he's back up inside the top 12, moving forward.
Yeah, Tate Lytle up inside the top 12, looking to chase down the top 10. A little bit of a gap there to the Latham Joyner and John Cutlip machines.
I'll tell you this, too. One car that's really struggled in the last 10 or 15 laps, Jay Canort. He was way up there in front of Matthew Weeks and Josh Adams and Cutlip at one time, and he is backed up hard.
Kynan Jones just crashed on the back straightaway. Let's see if this brings out a caution. We'll take a look here in a second at the Rebilas photography replay machine. He's going to try to keep it on the apron as much as he can to get that car spun back around, and he does continue on.
I believe that's another one of your cars that you own, correct?
Yeah, this has not been a great night. As we see the Kynan Jones machine, we're watching the Rebilas photography replay machine. It just snaps. It just snaps on him, and he hits the inside wall a ton. He keeps it on the apron the entire time before getting it spun back around, so he is able to continue on. We don't have a caution with that one. As I do apologize if we pick that up. Kian Raleigh not pleased with something that just happened on the racetrack. I think it might have been a handling qualm.
Yeah, I don't think he was thrilled.
Chris, now you mentioned my team and the drivers that were involved in incidents tonight already. Jess Story, Zach Rogers, Kynan Jones. I do still have a couple cars on the racetrack, and I'm running the broadcast, so I'm going to show them. We're currently led by Jacob Adams in 16th. Just behind him is Cash James in 17th, and Zach Rogers still running there in 33rd. He is heavily damaged. So,
well, speaking of cars that we are running or we might run, oh, here comes Josh Robin, I think, the pit road. He might be wrecking, too.
Josh Robin, no, he pulls into pit road just fine. We are going to see a green flag pit stop here by Josh Robin. Looks like a little bit of a scuffle there out on the racetrack. Couple drivers swapping spots. As Robin does come to pit road. Josh Adams gets by Kian Raleigh. This is a bit of a gaggle of cars here, Chris. It's Scott Crump, Josh Adams, Kian Raleigh, and Jonathan Cutlip all together.
Trying to find that right. Your feed is not up for me, so I'm trying to find that over here on my own. There we go.
Taking a look over on the Discord server. Looks like we have a couple drivers standing by for an interview. Let's go ahead and bring up Jesse Racimus for a quick chat here with Chris Wright.
We are now joined by Jesse Racimus. Jesse, talk us through what happened out there and the fact that you didn't want to obviously be giving this interview right now.
No, not really. I mean, everything checks out okay. The brain's still intact, but I don't know. I seen somebody get a little squirrely up front. I don't know if it was Vincent Isabella or Just Story. Tried to go down to the inside to avoid it. And I don't know. I kind of got right hooked by somebody. I didn't exactly get the chance to watch a replay to see who it was yet, but pretty much destroyed my night. I have like 40 minutes of repairs. We're going to try to get back out and just log a lap or two to gain a couple of spots for points and go from there.
Well, real quick before we let you jump back out of here and hopefully get to get out here and run a little bit. I know you're not looking forward to that part of it, but any sponsors you want to thank or shout outs you want to give?
I mean, just everybody here at Elite. I mean, the Elite Racing Network, you guys, everybody in the booth up here, Robert, Chris, who else we got? Dave, Gerald. I mean, everybody up here puts on a great broadcast, so it's entertaining for everybody to watch back, and I enjoy watching it after the race. Kind of watching it now, and I mean it's kind of interesting at the same time trying to spot for my son why he's running around, and
He's clear all around.
yeah, he's clear all around.
He was just 3
giving us some
wide though a
pointers.
second ago. That was a little scary.
Yeah, I was watching. He
held his line. That's what mattered.
Yeah, he's still getting the throttle control down, so a little bit of work there, but he's doing a good job overall.
Absolutely.
I think I'll speak for him, and he would tell you, hey, I'm the one that's still in the race, so I think I'm doing all right.
Yeah. He's laughed at me a couple times, but I appreciate bringing me up. Me and Jess were just down there having a conversation after we both got checked out, so.
Well, all right. We hate to see that for you, Jesse, and good luck next week. Hopefully the luck turns around at Indy, and we always appreciate guys willing to give an interview there after they've had a rough night, because sometimes the last thing you want to do is talk to us.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys. Thanks for bringing me up.
All right, we'll see you out there tomorrow night in the ARCA series, Jesse?
Possibly.
Or Wednesday in Cup.
Yeah, possibly in the ARCA tomorrow. I'm not sure yet, but definitely Wednesday I'll be back.
All right, best of luck to you, Jesse, and we'll see you next time on the track.
Bye, have a good one, guys.
And we're going to go ahead and bring in Jess Story now. Jess was involved in the first incident of the night. Hey, Jess Story, you got a copy?
Yes, sir. I got you.
Jess, we saw you involved in the first caution of the night with the 82 of Vincent Isabella. Of course, the tally
we got Josh
was
Adams on
issued.
pit road.
Oh, that was a little close. Josh Adams got squirrely there. But, Jess, why don't you walk us through what happened out there with Vincent Isabella to bring out that first caution?
I mean, I was just sitting there just kind of biding my time, just getting a handle on the car. Didn't really get that great of a run off of 2. And you know, Vincent was able to get to me and get a run on me, but he could have just had plenty of time to get underneath me and try to pass me, but he just clobbered me right in the back of the car and put me up in the wall, and that was it. You know, really, I just felt like it was just very unnecessary, especially that early in the race, and definitely not very happy about it.
No, absolutely not. I can definitely see where you would be frustrated with this one, but I will tell you, I mean, if you weren't involved in that one, with the way the night's going for the team, you're probably going to be involved in an incident at some point where, as of now, we do have 3 cars heavily damaged thus far, so I guess being out early kind of is better than getting wrecked late, but definitely unfortunate there. And looking ahead to the rest of the season for you, Jess, is there a race that's circled on your calendar as a good shot for you to wind up in victory lane?
I feel like my next best shot will probably be Indy's, where I made my Grand National debut, and I managed to start in the back and bounce my way back to get a top 5 finish there in my Grand National debut. So that's going to be that's definitely a track I'm looking forward to.
Well, we definitely look forward to seeing you out there. Hopefully we can talk to you under much better circumstances that night. But before we do let you go, any sponsors you want to thank or shout-outs you want to give here, Jess?
I just want to give a big shout-out to my teammates and everybody at Mountain Man Motorsports. You know, this is a very tight-knit group, and we definitely have a lot of chemistry going, and I'm very fortunate to be a part of a great group. So big shout-out to them, big shout-out to all sponsors in the league, big shout-out to Chad. I know he had some issues getting going tonight, I guess, but
You did better than him.
yeah, yeah, that is true. But yeah, big shout out to everybody who puts this on. It's a very fun league to be a part of, and I'm very grateful to be a part of it.
Well, we're definitely glad to have you. We hate that you had bad luck here tonight.
We've got Tate Lytle really sideways out of turn 2.
Yeah, that was a
Man,
big
what
one.
a catch.
We're sorry to see your bad luck here tonight, but we definitely hope you can rebound tomorrow in the ARCA series or Wednesday night in the Cup series this week. But Jess, thanks for joining us.
Yep, thank you.
That was Jess Story as Tate Lytle loudly lets everyone know that he is coming down pit road this time.
I think he's got a right rear coming apart.
Oh, he's got everything coming apart. Oh my gosh. We're going to go to the blimp. We're going to the blimp.
Oh my goodness.
Wow. Dave Huckleberry, thank you for driving that blimp because Tate Lytle nearly wrecked our field. We're past halfway here, Chris. We have 44 laps to go, and here they come for what could potentially be the final stop
Wow,
is
look at
Tate
Tate.
Lytle. Oh, man. Oh, he's wrecking on pit road.
And that is it. He's also speeding. rough go of it for Tate right there.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I do want to talk about. We talked about your cars out here and how everybody's running. There is a shot that I'm going to be driving that 56 next week at Indy and leaving you up here all by your
All
lonesome.
by
And he did a great job getting on pit road here, and I think he's going to be the leader when this cycle's out. Will he keep it? I don't know.
He very well might end up being the leader. I'm just not too sure. Tate Lytle definitely did speed on pit road. He served a penalty there due to that excessive speed. But yeah, you see the Josh Adams machine just put himself back on the lead lap, getting by a couple of... Actually, no, he is not back on the lead lap. He is still one lap down. He is
Almost.
behind...
He'll be there in like 30
He's behind
seconds.
Fody and Fuller still at this point, just a couple tenths behind them. But yeah, Chris, I think it'll be interesting to see you in that car if that does happen. I think it might. Speaking of sponsors on the hood, it says
Yeah,
Canes
no Canes
already,
machine.
so I mean it's kind of set up. It's ready for you. So we'll see as you see Zach Rogers there back on the racetrack. I want to give a shout out to a couple guys that we don't always get to talk about here, Chris, and I don't think we've even said their names tonight. Dusty we've talked about once tonight, but let's say a quick hello to Dustin Doer there. You see NHPA on the side. That is the National Horseshoe Something Association. Of course, Dusty, the world champion horseshoe player. Pretty darn cool there. David Carpenter just behind him, the 71 machine. He drives for Do Good. He's got Ronster Wraps on board that machine. And speaking of Do Good, the good man himself, Michael Goodman, just up ahead. Richard Hines just behind. That's the 87 Hines machine. Shout out to those guys over at Do Good. We don't really get to talk about them too much, so anytime we can talk about them, let's do it. Rory Collins here in the 62. He's running a nice race in 17th. He's still on the lead lap. That's always nice. Barbecue Chip Boy back there. It's Joe Francis in P18 as we continue our battle for the lead.
Yeah, here we go. Battling for the lead. Not much of a battle. Fody's going to drive on by.
As we do continue on here, Fody is your leader. Cutlip coming to pit road. Trey Holmes following suit. Just taking a look. Looks like everyone's pretty much made it back onto the racetrack A-OK, so no penalties have been assessed aside from, I believe, Tate Lytle and his penalty a little bit earlier. Looking at the cycle, though, I think Johnny Thomas and Cash James might end up okay.
Ethan Burrell's coming to pit road.
Big Easy Ethan Burrell, he enters pit road here. Fuller and Fody still pending a stop.
This will give us a good idea of how far ahead Josh Adams is going to be after the pit stops. Ethan Burrell comes to a stop. Josh Adams is going to pass him right about
Right now, he just
now.
passed him. He just passed him.
So I figured it was going to be about a half a lap or so that Josh was going to be ahead of these guys.
Once Tyler Fody and Justin Fuller opt to come down pit road, that's when we'll throw it to our commercial break. So we do have to pay some bills here on the Elite Racing Network. But just taking a look through, looks like everyone is A-OK thus far. Just 17 cars on the lead lap, Chris. Once it cycles through, looks like it'll be Josh Adams, Josh Robin, Vincent Isabella as the top three that have come down already. Here comes Braxton. Braxton DeWeese to pit road. All you DeWeese fans, here he is. That is the Braxton DeWeese machine. Beautiful number 27 Shift Esports Ford Mustang coming to the attention of his pit crew. I think Fody might be getting ready here. And we are under
got a
caution.
caution.
Tyler Pop involved, Latham Joyner, Trey Holmes.
Latham Joyner.
Kean Raleigh taking blame for this one. Yeah. Yeah, that's it. Kean runs over Latham. Tally 68. Chris,
Oh, wow. Trey came in real late, too.
Yeah, Trey, we're going to go ahead and... Chris, we're going to go ahead and take our commercial break. We'll be back in about 2 minutes' time here on the Elite Racing Network. Don't go anywhere.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
And we are back here at Texas. We're going to take a run through the field. Currently leading the way is Tyler Fody in the number 40 machine, followed by the 55 of Justin Fuller. The 77 of Trey Eidson in position number 3, followed by the 90 of Scott Crump. Crump took that picture testing today. I love his baby's face there. That is awesome. Garrison Hogan currently up 39 spots into position number 5, followed by the Jacob Adams machine up 27 spots to 6th. Michael Goodman makes out all right there, up 29 spots to position number 7, followed by the 32 of Dustin, the Dragon Doer. David Carpenter in position number 9 in his number 71 machine, followed by Joe Francis in car 35, rounding out the top 10. Josh Robin just behind in the 8 machine, followed by Latham Joyner. Johnny Thomas in the 91 in position 13, followed by the 9 of Jay Kaner in 14th. Vincent Isabel in the 82 there in 15th. Ethan Burrell 16th in the 37 after a pit cycle gone wrong. Braxton DeWeese in the 27 and 17th. Kean Raleigh in 18th. He was issued a tally for the latest incident. Matthew Weeks in position number 19. Tyler Popp in 20th. Leighton Norgard 21st. Andrew Hardcastle 22nd. It's Michael Hossack 23rd, followed by Richard Hines in 24th. Cash James 25th, Jaden Racimus 26th, Seth Rawls 27th, Joshua Adams 28th, John Cutlip, Rory Collins, Tate Lytle, and Zach Rogers rounding out the cars currently on the racetrack. As we just take a look, we do have a few cars taking a wave around. Let's see if they're going to be able to catch the tail of the field. As I do believe they will. We're going to be able to go green this time by with just 31 laps to go under caution flag number 2 here tonight. As the field has just caught up, we're going to get set to unleash the power of the Elite Grand National Series presented by Rebilas Photography, RebilasPhoto.com for all your photography needs. As the field has bunched back up, we are underway. It's Tyler Fody with a great restart ahead of Scott Crump. Crump there on the outside of row number 2. Justin Fuller there with them as well. I do see Trey Holmes, unfortunately, was issued a meatball penalty means a mechanical black flag, which is a black flag with a big orange circle in the middle. Looks like
Chad Wide back here at Jay Canor.
Hey, that is our boy Chris Wright. Chris, welcome back, my friend. Just behind Jay Canor is the 3 wide. It's Seth Rawls on the bottom, David Carpenter, and Jaden Racimus up on the high side. Racimus currently scored. I don't know where Jaden scored. In position 26. So a couple lap cars up here around the Dave Carpenter machine. Now, Chris, welcome back. Hopefully you had a nice little break. We did hear from our friends at TA Services, one of our premier partners here in the Elite Racing League, along with Worldwide Technology Raceway, which is a motorsport racing facility in Madison, Illinois, home to 1.25-mile oval, 2-mile road course, quarter-mile drag strip, and a state-of-the-art karting facility known as the Kartplex. Check out Worldwide Technology Raceway today. And, of course, Blue Egg Marketing, which is the marketing department for small businesses, small business owners. Blue Egg is your biggest fan.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
What happened to Josh Adams for him to lose that lap back? Because we saw him get it back on the racetrack and was up to like 10th or 12th, and now he's back a lap down.
I think Josh had an extended pit stop, Chris. I believe that's what happened. Let me see if I can go back through our records here. If you talk us through the action, I'll take a look.
I'm just curious as to what happened. Looks like he left okay. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah, he had a 40-second pit stop for Josh, which is a bit of a longer one. But
here we go, battle for the lead. The 55
sure,
underneath
the 55
40.
of Fuller.
They're
It's
really
Fuller
tight.
and Fody side by side. Chris, we are coming to 25 to go this time, which is Alexander Ned's favorite time.
Oh man, I thought he was going to turn down. He still might.
Oh,
Might get
Fuller's on
contact
that
here.
left rear. Chris, I want to say something. With the way that netcode has been on iRacing lately, they're lucky that nothing happened right there. Because I think we just
Very
had an
lucky.
issue with Connor Thompson. Looks like he's just
Fody's
going
fighting
through the
to hang
grass.
on right now.
Fuller on the inside, Fody. Michael Goodman expressing some...
Mark that down. Michael Goodman does not like Ohio State.
Yeah, he don't like the Buckeyes.
I live in the state. I don't like Ohio State either. I do like the Buckeyes, though, as in the peanut butter and chocolate.
As the battle for the lead does continue, it's Fuller on the bottom, Fody up top. Fuller slides up a little bit, nearly into the side of Tyler Fody.
Fody is fighting and hanging on, and here comes Trey Eitzen right up behind him.
Here's the 77 of Eidson closing that gap, like you mentioned. He's coming up to the tail of both Fuller and Fody. It's a bit of a gap behind him. Back to Scott Crump. Crump holding on to position
Fuller
number 4.
just couldn't
Fody.
quite get clear and had to lift, and that's what
Fody
Fody
nearly
get
got the
back.
wall right there. We're going to zoom in a bit, get a close-up shot of these boys as they duke it out off of turn number 4. It's Fuller on the inside. Fody up top. Fuller finally clears, but here comes Fody.
Yeah, here
He's
comes
still
Fody.
got his
Fody's
nose,
coming
but here
back.
comes Eidson. Trey Eidson to the rear bumper of the Justin Fuller machine. Eidson having one of his best runs thus far here in the Rebilas Photography Grand National Series. Trey Eidson in position
You
number
think
2.
Mark was out shooting any of those tornadoes here the past week, and
Or right now?
or right now?
I bet you he is. As I want to
Mark,
give a
if-
shout out. Actually, go ahead, Chris.
If you're listening, Mark, I'd love to go with you on one of these trips to go see some tornadoes, because we just here in Ohio,
So-
the big ones always dodge me. I want to go see a big one.
Mark, if you... Of course you do.
If I'm going to see one, I might as well be a big one, right?
That's right. Chris likes big ones. As
Mark it down, I sure do.
anyways, Mark is a storm hunter sometimes. He also shoots sports and everything else. So he could use you as a weather tool. If he ties you to the top of the car, he'll know if it gets really windy because you've blown away.
Yeah, I'll be able to tell him how moist it is and whatnot outside, too.
Anyways, we don't need a, a measurement of moisture. As we're going to continue on the racetrack. Jesse Racimus, he's back, Chris.
Lead change right here.
Hey, I was excited about Jesse Racimus. As Trey Eidson goes
Yes,
to the
let's see, goes,
inside, Justin Fuller up top. Fuller might be trying to save those tires just a little bit here.
Here comes Scott Crump. Here comes Jacob Adams. This caution fell in the spot there where it really hurt people like Ethan Burrell and whatnot who were trying to be up there.
Yeah, like I mentioned, going through the field, Ethan kind of got caught on a pit cycle gone wrong. The last thing you want to see during the pit cycle is a caution. Unless
I
unless
have
you're the likes
authority.
of Goodman, Dewar, etc., that were a little bit further back.
I have it on good authority that Ethan got caught up listening to an idiot who didn't know what he was talking about.
Who's listening to you?
Yeah, he was listening to me.
Well, good job, Chris. As you see, Garrison Hogan, Jacob Adams battling for position number 5.
Oh, Scott Crump nearly hits the wall.
Both of these drivers up, Garrison up nearly 40 spots. Adams up nearly 30 as Garrison Hogan goes on pie on the bottom. He is moving up to position number 5. 18 laps to go here at Texas. It's the Texas 150 here on the Elite Racing Network. It's the Rebilas Photography Grand National Series as we see Seth Rawls and Joshua Adams duking it out for position number 25 on the racetrack. Rawls up 18 spots to 25th. I still don't think he's going to be very pleased with that spot unless one of them can get back on the lead lap because, of course, that's the battle for the lucky dog as well.
Yeah, and the yellow here would change everything as well.
And Chris, we didn't do this at lap 25, which is where Alex usually does it, but we're going to go ahead and do it now. Do you want to change your pick for the win tonight?
Well, I feel like that's cheating. That feels so dirty.
I know. We don't usually do that here. That's more of a Dave Huckleberry and Alex Ned thing on Wednesdays.
And where is Dave tonight? He joins us for some of these broadcasts from time to time.
From time to time. I think Dave's just enjoying some time with his wife, and you know what? He deserves it, man. Dave does a lot that you guys don't see behind the scenes. Actually, you do, because he puts a lot of these graphic packages together that we use on the broadcast. Of course, yes, I do produce Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays, but Dave's the one that puts those packages together for us to use. So shout out to Dave. Thank you for everything that you do. And I think Dave deserves like a vice president title here at Elite. As Tyler Fody looks to the inside of Justin Fuller for second, 15 laps to go.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think Dave deserves maybe the presidency and move Chad back to the vice presidency.
Yeah.
But you know what I wonder?
Oh, nearly
I wonder
contact.
if his wife enjoys us
Maybe his wife should be the vice president.
having all his time, or if she wishes he wasn't with us so much. Because it could go either way. She might enjoy the time that he's, on the computer talking to us.
Yeah, she might like a bit of break from Dave sometimes, but I think she likes it too when he has some time away from us as well. I'm sure he likes being away from us sometimes too.
Oh, I definitely think he enjoys a break from you, Bobby, for sure.
Oh, from me? Yeah, probably.
Yeah, just you specifically.
Yeah, no, I agree. As you see, Matthew Weeks gets by Jaden Racimus. Racimus, of course, one lap down, currently out there on the racetrack. It is Seth Okina Jones heads to pit road in his number 85 Pit Pass Network machine.
Isn't there some racing going on?
It's Dave Huckleberry. What's up, Dave? Hey, Dave, can you answer the question that we just asked?
I've heard enough. I've heard enough of you talking about me. Focus on the racing.
Well, right now the racing's not super exciting. We got a 1 second gap out here in the lead. We need somebody to throw a banana peel out here and get us restacked here.
Yeah, Dave, come on now. That's Dave Huckleberry giving us heck.
Hey guys, I got a big delay here, so I'm watching it on YouTube.
All right, buddy, you have yourself a wonderful evening. Thank you for everything you do.
Bye.
That's Dave Huckleberry, guys. That's the boss
As
man.
we are at 11
Look
to go.
Here comes Scrumpy to the inside of Justin Fuller. That's the battle for third. Scott Crump in car 90 on the inside. That's Justin Fuller in the 55 up top.
And I know you've already talked about this car, and I know there's still 10 laps to go, and there's plenty of cautions that can happen. Dustin Dewar is up in P9 with Michael Goodman in 10th.
Yeah.
Great runs for those guys tonight. Much needed good runs
Now,
for
Chris,
those guys.
I'm going to say it right now, and they'll admit it as well. They benefited big time from the caution in that pit cycle. That's the thing that helped them the absolute most. Because on straight pace, do I think Dusty and Goody were top 10 cars? No. I don't think that they had that tonight. But I do think they were 15th to 20th place cars, which is still a very respectable run in a 43-car field. But being able to take advantage of other people's misfortune and a kind of poorly timed caution for most, great timed caution for them, puts them in the top 10.
I'm going to tell you what, the last 2 laps in a row, Seth Rawls has chopped Josh Adams' nose down into turn 1.
Yeah, and
that's a race for the lucky dog. I don't think Josh is going to let it happen.
Josh is my teammate, Chris, on the Cup side. And I know he gets to the point where he's like, yeah, you do that again, and, well, you're not going to have a chance. So
yeah, I don't think he's going to let it happen.
You never know. We do have a bit of a battle here. It's Vincent Isabella, Ethan Burrell. That's 11th and 12th. Ethan kind of pulling a gap a little bit. Josh Adams and Seth Rawls still side by side as they have Josh Robin behind them. Robin running in position number 8 right now. He's going to want to get through these guys as quick as he can because he has Dustin Dewar and Michael Goodman closing that gap rather quickly on him as well. As Adams slides up a little bit. Yes, folks, we are focused on a battle for 25th right now.
The 25 is sideways sliding around, too.
Yeah, we saw Seth a little bit sideways earlier.
This is huge if a caution comes out.
This is probably the most important battle on the racetrack right now that we have. This is the Lucky Dog battle. Typically, we do get a late caution in some of these races, which always throws a wrench in things, but Josh Adams currently holding that spot over Seth Rawls. Rawls able to get back on the loud pedal. He's trying to close that gap. Now he has Josh Robin behind him. He's getting all kinds of loose. I think Seth Rawls just got a piece of the outside wall.
And Mr. Jones, one of your drivers, has loaded up and headed home.
Yeah, he kind of wasn't feeling too good. Oh my gosh. Trey Eidson nearly followed Andrew Hardcastle into the outside wall. That was a close call for our race leader as he's coming around to 5 laps to go. Trey Eidson in car 77. He has a lead of 1.3 seconds over some of Elite's best. And Scott Crump and Tyler Fody currently running 2nd and 3rd just behind. If I'm Trey Eidson, next thing I want to see here is the white flag. I don't want to see no yellows whatsoever.
And right now, these guys, their cars are starting to handle pretty bad.
Yeah, you're seeing it here. Here comes Michael Goodman. He's catching up to Dustin Dewar as Seth Rawls kind of got in the way a little bit there. Just behind them, Ethan Burrell closing that gap. So we're going to have a battle for the 9th, 10th, and 11th positions here momentarily with just 4 laps to go. Does look like Garrison Hogan's catching the Justin Fuller machine. We're going to have a battle for 4th here momentarily as Andrew Hardcastle into the outside wall on the high side of Scott Crump. That could have been catastrophic. Trey Eidson going to come around and face 3 laps to go this time. He has a Leighton Norgard just ahead of him, and he has a 1.37 second lead out back.
And Goodman just gave up a bunch of the spots he was fighting for here.
No matter what, even if Goody comes home 11th here tonight, that is a very solid run for that number 44 team. It's always nice when you have an opportunity to gain some points, put yourself in a good spot to work your way up in the standings. And Richard Hines just had a moment a little bit further back. We're going to focus here on our leader, Latham Joyner, Trey Eidson, as he comes around to take 2 laps to go. Popsicle sticks are in the air as we're just going to take a quick glance back through the field. I think our closest battle is Ethan Burrell and Dustin Dewar. It is Burrell looking to the high side of Dusty. Another battle a little bit further back. It's Weeks and Kaner side by side. Trey Einson should be coming around to the white flag this time. Once the white flag's displayed, that means the next flag will end tonight's race, and it should be the checker. Trey Einson leads with 1 lap to go.
White flag's in the air.
Still side by side. It is Kaner on the high side. Weeks down low. That is the battle for position number 16, as we're going to keep our eyes peeled here as Trey Einson coming off of turn number 4 now. He will face the checkered flag for the first time in his Elite Racing League Rebilas Photography Grand National Series career. Trey Einson, your winner tonight, ahead of Tyler Fody and Scott Crump. That is your top 3, and we will talk to them momentarily here. And Chris,
And
you know what?
Ethan Burrell comes home 9th.
Dustin Dewar in the top 10. Jacob Adams with a really solid run. I got to give a shout out to Garrison Hogan. He started dead last, finished 4th tonight. That is a great run for the Yahoo machine, but it's all about this man right here. That is Trey Einson, victorious for the first time here tonight at Texas. We will wait for our podium finishers, and then we'll have a nice chance to talk with them. But Chris, I got to give a shout out to this entire field here tonight. 2 cautions. Unfortunately, a couple cars were taken out, but you know what? That was a great race that we just had here in the Rebilas Photography Grand National Series.
Yeah, it was a pretty good race. That caution came out right in the middle of pit stops, and it shook things up. I hated to see some guys that I hate to see guys get hurt there by that when they had a good race going on, and then, but it worked out and fell into the lap with some others, like you talked about with Dustin Dewar, Michael Goodwin. Josh Robin even got a good finish, and he was the very first car to pit. But it flipped the strategy for some guys. But Trey Einson, ultimately ran in the top 5 all race, had him a good race, and
Chris, you know what? Taking a look down in the Discord waiting room, it looks like only Trey Einson is standing by. Why don't we go ahead? We'll pull him in and get some raw emotion from our winner.
all right, we are now joined by Trey Einson. Trey, are you trying to take the Ethan Stanley approach and just start winning everything out of the gate here?
Oh no. I think he's too excited, Chris.
Yeah, I don't
Let's
have
move Trey
here.
back to the waiting room. We'll bring Scott Crump in.
I'm here, guys.
Oh,
I'm
there he
sorry.
is. He's here.
Yeah, I don't know what happened with the wheel in Discord, but it changed the button input.
So, talk to us about this race tonight. Your first win here in the Xfinity Series, the Mark Rebilas Photography Series, and ultimately, you saved the tires the best. You let those 2 race it out for about 10 or 15 laps, and then you went up there and waved goodbye to both of them.
Yeah, I didn't. It's my first elite win. I've thrown away so many in the ARCA series, and thought I had a shot at the Dover Truck Race, and nothing really worked through. But yeah, I don't really know what to say.
At what point tonight did you realize you had a shot to win this thing? Was it there late after that last restart, or did you feel like you had a pretty good shot to win it there out of the gate when you were able to run top 5 or 6?
I don't know. Like the first run, other leagues I can kind of hang out and like save my tires and beat people up on the long run. But here, like everyone's so much more aggressive. So I'm still trying to fill some of these people out. I don't know them. So there's a lot more aggression. So the second restart, I was like, all right, I can't screw around. Got to go. So I did. Probably burnt my tires up on the outside lane for 5 or 6 laps, trying to get up by the, I think it's the 68. And I was able to get down, make some hay, get up to like 3rd or 4th, but it just seemed like my right rear was cooked the last 10 laps of that super long run. It was like 15% more worn than Fuller when we were talking about it. So don't know if it was my driving style or me just having to cook the outside lane on the restart, but I kind of fell apart there basically. But I'd say I was looking at like a top 5 or 6. I'm usually pretty good at the Legacy Texas, the older with the tire wear. So I just figured if we could stay green not have a bunch of restarts, I would probably walk out here with a top 5. I definitely didn't see a victory coming though.
Well, all right, Trey, before we let you jump out of here and celebrate your first elite win, first of many, the way that looked, you kind of came on strong there at the end and put your foot on their throats there. But are there any shout-outs you want to give or sponsors you want to thank?
Nah, it's all fake sponsors. But thanks to you guys for broadcasting. Thanks to all the admins and sponsors of the league that put this together. So looking forward to it. It's glad to. There's like an elusive victory. I just seem to not be able to get over here. So it's finally nice to get that out of the way. Maybe we can grab some more. Maybe carry the momentum over to ARCA tomorrow at the Bristol. Don't know how that's going to go. It's been like 10 years since I drove that car at Bristol. So looking forward to it though.
Man, for a second there, I thought we were going to get like a wrestling promo cut there. Something about you being the best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be. You don't need no sponsors.
No, I mean, if you're I love wrestling, especially the old stuff. But if you're gonna get anything out of me, it'd probably be like, I got 2 words for you, and then, I'd carry that, especially after a victory. It's all. I mean, you can't just tell the field to suck it. But
I think
that's about all it's about all you're gonna get out of me.
Maybe get some black and bright green going on there next week. A little bit of DX going on.
Yeah, I can do that. I mean, I gotta have some like I gotta have like a I can't think of his name. Oh my god. The no, the DX tag team. I'm drawing a blank.
Shawn Michaels?
No. Oh my god, Mr. Ass. What is his name?
You lost me somewhere. See, I was an NWO guy. All right, NWO would beat the DX team any day of the week. Don't forget.
Yeah. I'm for it on that. Now if you want to pull me to the side here, I can talk you WCW, NWO till you're blue in the face because I'm the biggest Sting mark you'll ever meet in your life. So going on the Peacock and watching like the build up of Starrcade '97, like I do that probably once a year. So I guess I have no life. But oh my god, what was this tag team? It's gonna drive me crazy. The New Age Outlaws. I don't know if you've ever seen their intro, but like it's amazing. So if you have time, go watch it. It's like, oh, you didn't know? Your ass better call somebody. Like, come on.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
There you go.
I was lost there though for a minute.
That's what I was trying to reference, and I was drawing blanks. So, yeah. If you want me to start, the next time I do an interview, I'll try to pull up some old wrestling promos, and I'll just go like left field. Like you'll want to talk about the race, and then I'll just start talking about jabronis.
Well, I'll be up here tomorrow in the booth after the Bristol race. You'll have them ready, right?
I got it. I'm going to work on it tonight.
All right. Congrats on the win, Trey. We look forward to seeing you maybe go and win Bristol tomorrow. And who knows? Maybe we'll get in the cup race and be able to win at Watkins Glen on Wednesday.
Ain't happening. I don't like the car and I don't like road courses, but I appreciate it. Hope to get to talk to you guys tomorrow.
All right, that was your winner, Trey Ides. And now bringing in our runner-up tonight, Tyler Fody, standing by with Chris Wright.
All right, sitting here with my my old boss and my ex-friend. We're not friends anymore. He cut me out, cut me off. But here he sits tonight. Great run tonight, Tyler Fody. Tyler, take us through your night. And did you just burn your tires up a little bit too much there racing that 55?
Yeah, man, what a night. I shocked myself a little bit because I hate this old school Texas, which may be unpopular, but I love the new Texas. But yeah, I had to do some driving at the start, get some track position, and the long run kind of happened, and it looked like it was just going to be Fuller and Burrell and myself. And it was something about the 55. He was like untouchable the first 40, 30 laps of that run. Burrell ended up falling off, and it wasn't until like the last 5 laps of that run where I was better than the 55, passed him, and got a gap. And then we had the yellow. And basically after that, I was just telling myself, like, there's no way I can let the 55 get clear to the lead with this 20-lap-ish run. So we tried to get Crump and I on that restart through, and he just wasn't quite clear. And then 55 was all over me, and I figured I was going to race him super hard, burn us both up, and maybe he would fall back and hold the other guys up. But he ended up getting by me, and then Eidson got by, and Yeah, I mean, you saw it. He ended up burning up. I got back to second, but man, I was trying every single thing with what I had left. But props to Trey. I think I've seen him in ARCA and trucks kind of coming up, but he's a real wheelman. So look forward to racing him in the future. Maybe on equal tires next time, but we'll take the second.
Yeah, and it was very uncharacteristic of Elite. We only had the one early caution, the one caution there in the middle. Why do you think that is? I think everybody's going to leave here and say it's because Chad wasn't in the race. Would you agree with that?
Oh yeah, I didn't think about that before, but no, I don't know. From what Chad was saying, he had the race won, so we probably wouldn't have seen him anyway. But honestly, I think it was a bit of the setup and the style of track, just being so like one line dependent to pass, but also the setup and the tire wear I think played a huge factor. We've normally gone to tracks and our setups are normally like right front. Everyone's plowing, but this one it started off tight, but then it really got loose, and I truly think that the loose setups definitely, I mean, it spreads the field out a little bit, and everyone's kind of focused more on not wrecking themselves before they even start thinking about racing anyone. So I think that has something to do with the green flag runs, at least from my point of view.
And let's be honest and clear about one thing. Chad would have won the race to lap 10, but that extra zero, that might have been a different story.
Yeah.
But anyway, Tyler, before we let you jump out of here, you want to give anybody a shout out or thank any sponsors here before we let you go and celebrate this podium finish?
Yeah, well, I mean, a huge shout out to the team there, like Norman guys. Crump followed me home there in third from 25th. Josh Robin had a stellar night from 20th up to 8th, so we got 3 in the top 10. Vince was battling all sorts of stuff all night with the power going out and getting in some wrecks, but 29th to 12th for him. So big shout out to the whole team. Ethan Stanley had some unfortunate connection stuff, kind of kept him out of it, but we've all really been clicking. Our win streak actually came to an end tonight on the Monday nights, and it kind of stings to be second and third, but I mean, I'll take it if we're going to keep filling up the top 5, top 10 like this. So shout out to them, iWraps for being on the car, painting up the other cars, Blue Egg Marketing, and you guys too for being up here.
All right, Tyler, thanks for coming up here and talking to us. We look forward to getting to talk to you again maybe next week and racing with you on Wednesday.
Yeah.
All right, that was Tyler Fody, our runner-up tonight. And finally, here is Scott Crump, our third-place finisher.
All right, I am now joined by Scott Crump, finished P3 after starting there middle of the pack. Take us through your race, how you dodged the early chaos, and ultimately ended up on the right side of the strategy there, and thought maybe we were going to have a shot to win at the end, but Trey just kind of drove off and kind of put his foot on everybody's throats there, Scott.
Yeah, I had a bad queue tonight, so I think I started like 26th or something like that. Just try to take my time through the field. I worked my way up to about just outside the top 10, just rode there for a little bit. And then right there at the end of the run, I passed a few more. And then I was getting ready to pit, and that caution came out just right. So that got me back up to 4th. Yeah, on that last restart, I almost cleared the inside car for 2nd. But he stuck it in there and held me off, and that put me back to 4th. And I was just tight that last run. I think not filling up the gas tank kind of hurt me there, and just made me tight on that last run. But I wish I had a better queue and was up there the whole time. Probably could have done something more.
Now, I am getting word here. They're going to look into your race result tonight. They need to make sure that you were driving the car. I seen a screenshot there pre-race. Can you confirm that you drove that car all race long?
Yeah, son's almost getting there to where he can drive, so maybe he'll be driving next week.
Well, he looked like he was pretty excited, ready to get going. You think he can outrun Dad here in the next couple of years?
Yeah, maybe a few more years, maybe 4 or 5 more years he'll be up there.
You gonna cut when you guys start racing together? You gonna cut him any extra breaks?
No, I'm gonna put him in the wall just like I do Chad and everybody else.
Yeah, well, Chad wasn't there tonight to put anybody in the wall or to get put in the wall. We were just talking about that with Tyler. Is that why there was the lack of yellows tonight?
Yeah, I don't know, but I guess he was pretty fast on the hot lap and got the pole or whatever, and I guess he lost power. Sucks for him. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how he would have done like after 10, 15 laps or so, because It's easy to kill these tires.
Well, Scott, before we let you get out of here and celebrate with the team, the double podium there, second and third, any sponsors you want to thank, shout outs you want to give?
Get a shout out to my sponsor, Stay Tuned Sports Podcast. Get a shout out to my team, Lake Norman Motorsports. Get a shout out to my grandfather watching, brother watching. Get a shout out to y'all up in the broadcast booth. Y'all do an excellent job. Get a shout out to Trey winning and Fody coming in second, and Robin I think got 8th and Isabella got 12th. So everybody had a pretty decent night.
Yeah, and that's that reminded me of one more question I want to ask you. A couple races in now, get a handful of starts under your belt here. How are you settling in with the new team at Lake Norman there and working with that team, gelling with them?
I think things are going pretty good. We're working well together. We've got Ethan. Ethan lost power right as the race started, so he got in a little bit late, but that kind of sucked for him. I think he would have been up there too. But yeah, I think the team is really coming well together. I mean, we've been just about won every race so far or dominate the race. So hopefully we stay out front and keep running up front. And you can see a lot of Lake Norman guys there at the end.
I'm cool with that tonight, but on Wednesday I'd like to get my fair share. What do you think?
Just run with us, you'll be all right.
All right, Scott, congrats on the podium finish tonight, and we look forward to racing with you on Wednesday there at Watkins Glen and seeing you back out here next week at Indy.
All right, Chris, have a good one.
Well, Chris, that was Scott Crump, our third place finisher tonight, and that'll do it for our podium finishers. Why don't we go ahead and get some final thoughts from you after what was a pretty good night here in the Rebilas Photography Grand National Series?
Yeah, we had a lot of green flag racing there. We had that big wreck early, and we had a green run that everybody just about had cycled through stops. We were within about 4 or 5 laps, I think, of getting everybody through on the pit cycle. And we got another yellow for another bigger accident on the back stretch. And that set the stage for the 20-25 lap run to the finish, where we saw just long enough for tires to matter and for tires to wear. And Trey decided he was going to go ahead and give 100% there the last 10 laps and drove off and made sure everybody knew that he won the race. It was a great race. It's a great tire fall-off race. We heard some people pre-race, some drivers complain about running Legacy. You even heard it here in some of the interviews that some guys prefer the other Texas over the older one. But ultimately, I think I put on a great show. We had a lot of tire fall-off. It was just one lane, which you don't really like to see that. I think if they could have moved around a little bit more in 3 and 4, we might not have seen those bigger wrecks where everybody had to be kind of lined up on the bottom. When we saw when you got out of line, it was you couldn't really hold on to anything. You just kind of backed up. So that was about the only negative out of the night. It was a great race, though. I look forward to tomorrow at Bristol in the ARCA series. I'm looking forward to Watkins Glen, getting to be a part of that race there on Wednesday night. Should be a great week of elite, and who knows, maybe I'll be racing next week, Robert, and be an in-race reporter at Indy. One of my favorite tracks. I can't wait to get to Indy, even if I'm not racing. I love going to that place in a stock car. I think it takes a lot of finesse to be really good and really fast around there. So very excited about what's coming up here in the next week.
Yeah, absolutely. A great night here for the Rebilas Photography Grand National Series. A great way to kick off our season as well. Anytime you can limit the cautions is always pretty special. And actually, the server just closed, so glad we got that in time. Looks like Chad made it a little short, but congratulations to Trey Eidson, Tyler Fody, and Scott Crump on their podium finishes tonight. I want to say a quick thanks once again to Dave Huckleberry, Chad Frankfield, everyone behind the scenes for doing what they do, all of you for tuning in here tonight. Like Chris mentioned, we'll be back here same time, same place tomorrow night with the Pit Pass Network ARCA Series live from Bristol, and then Wednesday night with the Cup Series at Watkins Glen. And I believe we're back Thursday night as well in the Open Wheel Series. Let me just double check where we're at with that one. Yeah, we're at Michigan, the 6th running of the IndyCar1909.com US 500. That's a race that escaped me many years ago, so best of luck to those drivers as well. But for myself and Chris Wright, this has been another presentation of the Elite Racing Network. We thank you for stopping by, and we look forward to joining you again tomorrow night. Have yourself a good night, everybody, and in honor of our friend Brent Jones, cheers.